watching two Atlantic hurricanes that could affect millions of Americans. Hurricane Jose is moving north towards eastern Long Island and Cape Cod. But Hurricane Maria in the Caribbean is a far greater threat.
Maria is slamming the Caribbean as a powerful Category 5 storm. It made landfall last night on the island of Dominica with 160-mile-per-hour winds. Maria is targeting other islands that did not get the full fury of Hurricane Irma.
Those islands include St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. The public safety chief in Puerto Rico told people in the path of the storm this: "You have to evacuate, otherwise you are going to die." David Begnaud is in San Juan, where Maria's first impact is expected in the next 24 hours. David, good morning.
Gayle, good morning. This is catastrophic in every way. Those are the words of the National Weather Service here in San Juan as Maria barrels toward this U.S. territory. Last night, it was Dominica, a Category 5 storm that made landfall there in the middle of the night. The Prime Minister, in fact, made several urgent posts on Facebook saying his roof had been ripped off, his house was flooding, and communication was nearly non-existent on the island. And now this morning, there are reports of widespread devastation. As Maria made landfall, you could see the powerful impacts on the islands of Guadeloupe, which sits just north of Dominica. Heavy rains and wind gusts of over 150 miles per hour pounded several small countries recently devastated by Hurricane Irma. Streets on the island of Martinique are already flooding. Earlier on Monday, we traveled by helicopter to St. Thomas, one of the U.S. Virgin Islands. From the air, the scope of what Irma did here is apparent. Debris still litters the island and could turn into dangerous projectiles when Maria's hurricane-force winds move in. Dana Neal and her 2-year-old son Tucker James stuck around during Irma, but now she's getting out, going to New Jersey to meet her sister. But she plans to come right back after Maria to help rebuild what's left on the island of St. John. Why didn't you want to get out?
It's our home, because it's where we live, and we need to be there to help people.
Schools are now shelters on St. Thomas for those unable or unwilling to evacuate. EMT Jacob Bradley says all critically ill patients are being airlifted out, and people staying behind are being warned.
You can expect no EMS, no fire, and no police response from the locals because we believe the road is going to wash out. And if it washes out, there's nothing we can do.
Back on the island of Puerto Rico, people are getting ready for a direct hit from Maria, emptying out hardware and grocery stores and waiting in long lines to fill up gas tanks. There are 500 shelters here on the island of Puerto Rico that can house about 133,000 people if needed. Charlie? Last night, when this Category 5 storm made landfall on Dominica, it was only the second time a Cat 5 storm made landfall in the same year. The last time, Irma, 2 weeks ago.
David Begnaud in San Juan. Thank you, David.